Attempting to reconnect. All right. Well, good morning. Got my new gimbal in hand and rucksack on, ready to rock and roll this morning. A little warm up this morning, a little bit shorter. Yeah, had a hard time rolling out of bed at 4, so I rolled out at 4:30, and here I am. So it's nice to watch the sun come up, but again, another overcast day. So I was hoping to get up to the lake this morning and show you the sunrise over the lake, but that'll happen as soon as we get the weather to do it. Got a trip to Florida planned. I got some business down there I have to take care of, and I'm hoping I'll get a chance to go to Disney for a day. I do have that planned for August, but I'm flying into Orlando, and I got to go due east to the coast. I'm there for about a day and a quarter, and not very much time being spent in Florida, and then fly back. So I'm hoping to pull a half day at work on Monday coming back in, but we'll see how it goes. It's unlikely I'll see if I do see any Disney, it'd be unlikely it'd be any longer than maybe part of a day, just as it goes. So hope you're all doing well this morning. See a couple of you popped in. If you guys ever get the opportunity, or maybe you do this, you get out, even if for a walk. I got the 20-pound rucksack on again. So, my goal here is to, drop the weight. And so I bought this rucksack, and it's now my, friend of friends in the morning. At least for the last week, so I've only had it for a couple of weeks. But it seems to work pretty well. It's not getting any easier to throw it on at 5 in the morning, and but still it's a good workout. I got to do a little math on it if I can figure out what the equivalent of walking the few miles I walk with this thing on in the morning. I'll share it with you. I just don't have that information. I just knew it sounded like a good workout. Wasn't really sure if it was. I was back and forth on it before I bought it, and it is expensive. It wasn't something that was inexpensive. But I did buy a new gimbal, so I got my new Osmo here this morning. I hope it doesn't freeze up and flip like the other one was doing, so that one went back yesterday. The story there is, don't buy anything cheap because you're going to get something cheap. And this Osmo wasn't inexpensive or really expensive at the same time. So, just another expense. But I'm trying to get a little further away from the wood line there to see if there's a chance I could walk up the hill. No, it's just overcast. It would have been a beautiful sunrise, like most are. But this is a local school to where I live. I walked here on the weekend and decided I'll come back because I noticed the place I usually go is basically it's a track in a big parking lot. But this had this back walkway, and also I walked around the field yesterday, which looks a little damp this morning, but I always change shoes when I get home. So yeah, if I get a chance to get down to Disney, I'd like to see where Tom Sawyer's Island's gotten to. I don't know if I have time though. That's the fickle thing about time. I got so many things I'm doing when I'm down there. I just don't know if I'll get back into Orlando in time to quickly get into a park. I've got an annual pass, so it's not like I'd have to buy a ticket and waste the money. But typically I go down in February. This year I got lucky. My daughter played softball down there. She played college softball, and I was able to get down there I think maybe 2 times. I think about it. So I know February break we were able to get down there because I played the entire February break in Florida. So that was nice, obviously. Yeah, so I'm playing with this gimbal. It's kind of cool. It's got a bunch of different features on it that I've got to learn, but so far I've give this a A+ compared to the other thing I had. That thing was junk. So anyhow, I'm glad that we had the opportunity to get down to Orlando. But I get down typically once in the fall, Columbus Day weekend, once in the holiday season, and then try to scatter it around throughout the year if there's a possibility. With softball being down there, it's kind of a little bit easier to do it. But it's kind of fly in, fly out. And then August is my big trip where I spend some time down there. And I do it at the end of August when all the kids in Florida go back to school. And that's always, a little less crowded. So, but yeah. So I don't know how many of you actually get out there and do a little bit of this morning chaos. But I like it. I've done it for years. When I was a kid, we roofed in the summers. And the earlier you got up, there's a lot of daylight early when it's cool, like it is right now. It's about 50 degrees or so at the moment. And, when we were kids, we'd get up early so we could, beat the heat, so to speak. And then we could kind of kill off the day a little bit early if we needed to. And then go back in the evening and do some work. So, kind of used to getting up early. I do like to sleep in sometimes to about 5:30 or 6, which depending on the weather really is why I do that. In winter I love a little bit cooler out. I love just kind of hunkering down for a little bit in the mornings and staying warm before I go out and fire up the wood. So I was hoping that sunrise, we'll see. I'll be out here long enough to see some of it. So yesterday I put in the morning, and I had some struggles yesterday morning with the first gimbal freezing up on me, and I still ended up pulling off 3 miles, and typically it's anywhere from 2 to 4 miles, so I was right there in the middle of that. And this morning be a little bit lighter from the standpoint of the amount of time I'm out here. I have something I have to do early this morning, about 20 minutes earlier than normal to get to work. So I probably put in 2 miles this morning, I guess. I'd be in the low end, but still get out and move and get the blood pumping in the morning. And then at lunch, I'm typically walking the airport parking garage or doing something. I like the airport parking garage. It's been daily here recently, only because it's the inclines of the five levels hike up, just to push myself a little bit. But casual walking, everybody knocks it, but casual walking is just as good as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're moving. Especially when you get to a little bit older, you don't want to push too hard. I'm 58 and I beat the crud out of myself as a kid, so it's good on the knees, the joints. The weight loss is really good on the knees and the joints. Totally, if you were here yesterday, you probably heard this, but my dad passed away 2 years ago in May, and let's see what it looks like out there. Yeah, it might be a good sunrise over those trees in a little bit. The day he passed away, I weighed in at 352, and right now I'm, I think, 16 pounds away, give or take. It depends on the day. Now I'm 16 pounds away from a 100-pound loss in 2 years. No medical intervention. Really just two things I really did. Well, more than two, but I think two of the bigger drivers. And I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say this is true or false. But one I know is true. I stopped drinking beer at the rate that I was drinking it, and I wasn't drinking a lot of beer. Like I wasn't out there trying to drink to the point where I was silly. I'd have a beer maybe 3-4 days a week, craft beer, come home from work, crack a beer, and then on the weekend maybe have a 4-pack over the weekend. So 2 beers a day, but those beers are adding up. And I also gave up drinking anything with carbonation. So I just drink Coke Zero like I had stock in the company, and I gave that up as well. And I think that was a pretty big decision. At the rate that I was drinking it, I probably was drinking, fives, whatever a Coke costs nowadays. I was only driving 20-ounce bottles. I wasn't smart enough to grab cans at the store. Probably was that almost $6 a day. And if I had more than the two, you could start adding on. And then when I stopped drinking it, I'm like, oh, look at all that money I saved, it's just kind of, decisions we make. It could be a decent warming. Like I said, it's pretty overcast right now, but the decisions you make, it can be healthy and healthy on the wallet too. So that one was a little tougher. I thought the Coke was tougher to reel back than the beer. I think it's caffeine and the chemicals, whatever it might be. And so it's just some habit changes that I thought I needed to make. But I don't know if I see there's a couple of you in there. If you could just give me a thumbs up. I want to see where the chat lines up on this Streamlabs. I had it run right square through my face yesterday, and that was a bit annoying after I stopped and rewatched it. And you rewatch it right, today if you want to see it. But just playing. I was using Prism for a while, and decided to go with Streamlabs based on a buddy of mine suggesting it. I'm also going to be moving the times around on these walks. It's just I know I'm out here every morning, and I made an agreement with myself. I was going to post something every day, and I'm in a big push right now. We get 29 days down to the wedding. My daughter's getting married, and we got a lot of stuff going on, suit fittings, and just wedding planning stuff in general. Things with finishing out a school year and getting grading done, and there's just a lot going on there. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try the live stream game and see if that'll make things a little bit easier, because I could kind of kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. I'm out here working out, and also I can get these live streams to count as my posts for the day. So that's kind of really what I'm doing, more than anything else. I know when I had some people in the chat, it's kind of interesting to have those conversations. Yesterday I talked with a guy about the New York Giants and NFL football, and maybe I'll theme these days. Here's what we're talking about today. I don't know if the Disney conversation would be one I guess I could have a conversation about anything, to be honest with you, but whether or not I know what I'm talking about, that'd be the question. So this is like I said, nothing more than an accountability piece for me to get in shape. I started this 110 days out from the wedding. I needed something that made me know that I had to post on YouTube. Was a tool I chose, but I know if I was posting, I knew I needed it to do the workouts. If you go back to the very first thing I put on this YouTube channel, which was a Hot Works, pretty raw looking video, like most of them are, because I'm really spending as much time in the gym and working out and eating right as I am working on YouTube at this point. After the wedding, I'll continue to work out, but I'll spend a little more time on learning how to do the vlogging game and really hone in the editing. I did one that really, really came out good, I think. Tony Packo's hot dog stand. And it might be a nice morning. Tony Packo's hot dog stand. And that was something I put the least amount of time into, which was shocking. I didn't put a ton of time in, and it came out great. And I realized a lot of it was because I had the time to do it. We had a rain delay at my daughter's softball games in Toledo, and I had some information from a guy who's in a channel. I made him a mod. His name's Cole. He's a mod with a good friend of mine, CeeLo from On To Go with CeeLo, who does NASCAR streaming, baseball streams, and NCAA. Vlogs his cruises and his vacations to Disney. But Cole gave me the idea of going there. And I had time to research it and found a little video of Jamie Farr, who was Corporal Klinger in MASH. Before I posted it, I'd already made the video and made the vlog, and I just threw that in as an overlay just before I sent it out. And I think the thing's sitting around 30,000 views, plus or minus. I just can't recall off the top of my head. And yeah, obviously the best performer I've had by a long shot. So that's a kind of, and I could see it. I could see what I did. It's just the timing of getting to a place. I tried to do one in Troy. I was going to the farmer's market in Troy, New York. It was raining out. I ended up in a cemetery called Oakwood, just driving around waiting for the rain to calm down. While I was there, I was planning on vlogging the farmer's market, but while I was there, I realized, hey, Uncle Sam's buried up here. How can I tie this, make this a good vlog? And I knew looking at a gravestone, I might not be able to pull that off. So I ended up vlogging there and heading down to a place called Famous Lunch, which is a hot dog place like Tony Packo's. Not as nice. I mean, Famous Lunch is nice. It's an old counter. It's got some nostalgia to it. But it doesn't have the signed hot dog buns. And it doesn't have that quote unquote touristy feel to it. So I went and made a video and tied Uncle Sam into hot dogs, because Uncle Sam was a meat packer and I was going to go eat some meat. So it was a stretch, that's for sure. And I did it anyhow. So, but I think that's my next biggest bite. And I think mainly because Tony Packo's is kicking people over to it to see it. And but I really don't know. Again, as crazy as it sounds, I'm only 2 months into this YouTube game, a little bit more than that. I'm almost 3, I guess, now. And just still really a rookie at it. And same thing with this live streaming bit. Like, it was very apparent to me that going live at 5 o'clock in the morning was probably not the most intelligent idea from a standpoint of getting a crowd in here and having a conversation. But again, it wasn't really necessarily completely about that. It was completely about me committing to posting something for 110 days to keep myself accountable to this weight loss, getting in a little bit better shape. Commitment I made to myself and my daughter for her wedding. I didn't really make it with my daughter. I didn't tell her, hey, I'm doing this for you. She knows I'm out here doing it. I just didn't want to look like the 310-pound blimp that I was when I started up in January. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. It's not fair to her. Definitely not fair to myself to keep myself at that weight. So I started off around 310, 312 pounds in January. Started getting a little lazy. Towards the end of January, mid-January, stopped working out like I said I was going to. Basically, the commitment fell off. I'm like, I really need to get back at it. Look at this. I'm going to go back to the other side. If that sun comes up over these trees and it's looking awesome and I'm on the tree line, I'm going to be mad at myself for not seeing it. But anyhow, like I said, it was just a journey to lose weight, and YouTube was the accountability tool I chose. And probably we'll do a vlog on that at some point in time. Not that it'd be interesting to anybody but me, but I look at this as a channel not only for myself, but my kids, my grandkids, if I ever have any, if I leave this thing up and keep it going, which I intend on doing, I can look back at it and say, what, that YouTube bit that I did actually worked. It kept me focused, which is, I don't know if that works for everybody. It worked for me. And all the years I've been overweight and out of shape, really for the last, 10 years or so, I started coaching softball for my daughters. And we'd be traveling all over the country, and I'd be sitting on buckets, and it was a toll, because you sit there, you're sitting all day coaching 3 games and 2 or 3 games. Now, depending on championship weekends, you might be doing a little more than that actually. And going back to the hotel at night, having a few beers with the fathers and eating pizza. That might look pretty nice out there today. You'll find out. What do they say? Red skies in morning, sailors take warning. I don't know if that means clouds, but who knows. So anyhow, hope the few of you that are listening in the background are having a great start to your day. And this isn't a bad way to start it. Like I said, you don't have to throw a 20-pound rucksack on your back to get out and move and do this. It's just something I chose to do to pick up the pace. I have a goal in mind to have a 2-5 something the day of the wedding, and I got 29 days to pull it off, and means I got to ramp it up a little bit. So I bought the rucksack. It got here, I think I said about 2 weeks ago. Didn't use it every day initially. Use it one day, let it stay off my back another, use it a day. Again, it's kind of going every other day, just get used to it. And now it's become a part of the daily. Maybe not on the weekends, because the weekends I'm thinking about hitting some local towns and cities if I'm available to do it. I'm thinking this weekend, if the weather's right. I got some stuff I have to do around the house. I was supposed to be in Salt Lake City for my buddy's retirement, which I was flying in on a Friday evening at 7:30. I was leaving New York and landing in Salt Lake, I think around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then Sunday morning at 6:25, I was getting back on a plane and flying back into New York. So I wasn't there very long. I think the total amount of time would have been in state was like 19 hours, and then that was moved, so postponed. I'm gonna make that trip at a different time, and so I'll have the weekend free. But I'm thinking about getting to Saratoga Springs first thing in the morning, and I don't know if I'll start at 5 a.m. because I have about, I don't know, half hour, 40-minute ride up to Saratoga, and doing a live stream from up there. Oh yeah, it might be pretty cool. I mean, that's awesome looking. This is like I said, there's a bonus to getting out early, and sometimes you get to see a morning sunrise, even if you don't actually see it. I don't know what time we got now, because I left my watch home, but my fault for doing that. But I got a feel for how far I've walked, so I got an idea in my head what time it is. But that's not always the best place. But that is why it's fun to get out in the morning, and you can kind of see through the trees over here what I'm talking about. It's too close to that tree line to catch that sunrise. And there is a lake just up the road, which today might have been a good day. It didn't look like it when I pulled in, to be walking around that lake road and seeing that sunrise come up. But I'm not there. So one of these days, but yeah, I might get up to Saratoga Springs again, that I was talking about, and kind of walk around the downtown area, show that off a little bit. And I've got an idea in my head. We're going to see how it works out. That if I do a live stream and I'm cognizant about taking decent video, like let's say that was a really cool statue and I'm talking to you and I'm taking a video of that statue, I can actually go and lay it out so I could pluck some of the footage out of the live streams and make a vlog out of it as well. So kind of get three things in one. Get my walking exercises in, like a little cardio, and also a live stream and potentially a vlog. So I'm gonna give that a try and see whether or not this will work out. But yeah, so the name of this school here is Averill Park. So I'm in upstate New York, just outside of Albany. The school I like to use, I got like 3 or 4 that I can use, are pretty close. But I enjoy using the East Greenbush, or what they call Columbia High School track. A little quicker for me to get to, a little closer to home. Yeah, this might be pretty impressive this morning once it starts coming up. So I'll just buzz up and down here a little bit and keep my feet a little drier to see what we look like. So right back behind the trees, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a hill, and I think you can see it. And that hill is what they call the Grafton Hills, or what would really be considered the Berkshire Mountains, as part of that mountain chain. So I'm not too far from Massachusetts and Vermont. In fact, I'm closer to Massachusetts and Vermont than I am to Albany, from a standpoint of where I work. So to drive to Massachusetts, Hancock, Massachusetts, where a place called Jiminy Peak Ski Area is, probably takes me 15 minutes. And to go due north or due west, east from there to Williams, Mass, and dead north to Pownell, Vermont is another 10 minutes. So total time on the road for me to get to those two places would be well under half an hour. So yeah, it might be a pretty one. So I'll keep ourselves on this path a little bit, just kind of walk back and forth. And if you're still with me when that happens, and hopefully time allows, I'll try to get it on film. I know today I do have to leave a little bit earlier, so I'm going to time this one out just a little bit. If we get a chance to see it, awesome. So, like I said, I hope you're all having a good day. And looks like a couple of you. I've had people bouncing in and out here. Nobody in the chat this morning. That's the weird part about YouTube. I'm the same way when I was watching it. I don't chat all the time either. I had like 25 scrolling in and out, and not one chat. And they might be chatting. I don't know I believe I set it up for chat, but maybe I don't have it set for chat. So I'm going to check that right now, just for the sake of doing it. Oh, geez. John V is here. Hey, John V. No, I'm not a DVC member, and I did have the chat turned off. Again, this is early morning and not being smart. And I don't know if you're still here, John. So, Cole Trickle, how you doing? Yeah, this is me not being an intelligent streamer. I know I have to hit that chat button. I screwed that up the other day. I had to download this again. But again, I'm out for this little walk, and I was going to go to the lake, but it was very overcast this morning, and I decided not to. And that sunrise coming over the hills tells me I probably should have gone there. But oh well, what can you do? Again, I'm walking. Oh, look at that. That's cool as heck. How the heck did I pull that off? Well, I turned that sucker straight around on myself. That's wild. I gotta figure out how the heck that works. There it goes. Okay, that's cool. Found a new feature on my gimbal, Cole. Just buzz that thing around, and there's a button on the back. I just re-gripped the Osmo here I bought yesterday to replace the other piece of junk I had. Sent that back to Amazon. This Osmo is cool. It's got some different buttons and what have you that I didn't know existed. But yeah, so I kind of like this live streaming game. I appreciate it, Cole. John V, appreciate it. Hey, John, how was Plattsburgh? I don't know if you're still up there or you get back to town. So, all right. So now I'm learning. I'm glad I can learn this stuff early because I can actually scroll back in the chat. Yeah, I had Wendy. Wenda Scream was here. Came in yesterday. Oh, cool. All right. Well, that's my rookiness. Again, just learning this new. So this is the second day on third day. I guess I used this night before last and yesterday. So third day using Streamlabs on CeeLo's recommendation. So as I say, I'm a rookie and I'm learning. But yeah, the live streaming game is pretty cool. Oh, you're back home? Yeah, Whiteface, was it cold up there, John? I know when you get to the top of Whiteface, it could be 50 down in J, and at the top of the hill, you might get snow. People don't realize, I mean, I know you do because your daughter's up there, but people don't realize like the elevation jump that thing has its own weather pattern at the top. It's wild. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get that sunrise or not. I think I'm just gonna end up being out of here a little too soon today. But normally what I do is I walk this track, and now that there's more sunlight in the sky, I can actually get out of here and hit the trails. And I found one here. I knew it was here. I just don't get to the school frequently enough to really know what's going on. And but yeah, I knew this field was here, or this trail was here. And I went in on yesterday, and I know it looks like they're cross country track because I got some stones in there painted pink. So I'm gonna run through that. When I get to the other side, I'll probably bust out. Yeah, 4,900 feet above sea level. Yep. Was there still snow up in there, or is it too far down the line for there to be snow in this? Used to be able to carry snow in what they called the slides up at Whiteface into June and July, depending on the winter. So when I was younger, I used to ski the slides when they opened, because they don't open all the time. My brother and I would jump in there. And my buddy, I was supposed to be out in Salt Lake with this weekend. He moved out there, and we got to be going on 30 years ago, 32 years ago now. And when we were younger, we were always out in Salt Lake skiing. No snow, but hopefully we'll ski there next year. Yeah, it's great skiing. I didn't go up this year. I got Gore that's just, it's closer, obviously. So I use Jiminy Peak, which is over in Massachusetts, about 15 minutes from my house. And that's getting a little expensive. Like skiing in general is getting expensive, but I figure if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to go to a bigger place. And Gore is up the road from us, obviously just south of where you get off to get to walk to Whiteface. In fact, you can use the same exit. So yeah, so this is that little trail I found yesterday. I saw it. I didn't find it. I knew it was here. But at the end of this trail, I'll hop out on the road and I'll be heading right to my truck. So yeah, so I might do Whiteface this year myself now. I'm getting in better shape for it. That's part of the reason why I didn't do it. Just you got to be in pretty decent shape to be going on Whiteface. It's just that big enough. It's big enough a hill not to be up there out of shape. And you've been to Gore too? Yeah. Mount Snow's great. I had noticed Mount Snow 2 years ago, so this place on Mount Snow I enjoy a lot. Again, not too far from me. I'm right on the Mass, very close to the Mass and Vermont border. So Mount Snow last year was so packed. I drove right past it and headed right up to Okemo. I was going to go to Bromley or Stratton. Bromley on that day, it was one of those sunny spring days. And Bromley faces south, so I didn't really feel like skiing the corn, as they call it. And so I just went up to Okemo, spent the money, and skied. Well, I call it the new side. It's not new anymore, but Jackson's Gore. And so I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. I mean, there's nothing about skiing I don't enjoy. And I hate to say it, it's not a fat man sport. I still skied it heavy, but as I got older, man, my hips, the toll it was taking on my hips and my feet, I'm like, that's just got to stop. So yeah, Whiteface to me is you need to be a little bit better. There's places on Whiteface you can ski where you don't have to worry about it. Like you can go 3/4, but if I'm a Whiteface, I want to get up to the top, and that's where my mentality is still, even at 58. Like, let's just get up there and go. And this year I got a trip with my buddy who's retiring in Utah. We're debating on. We went out to Utah a bunch, like I said, when we were younger, and I got a trip planned to go out there with him and get some skiing in. We've slowed it down a lot, but give me some corduroy and some nice fluffy snow, and I'll ski all day long. So this is a cross country trail. At least it appears to be. It's got gravel on it, and so it's not like out in the middle of the woods hiking. And I do lose a little signal down here. I noticed yesterday. It comes right back, so I'll buzz through as fast as possible. I noticed it had some roots and rocks painted yesterday. So anyhow, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna try some live streams in the evenings. On the weekends. I'm not sure what the timing will be of those. I talked to someone who does this, and it wasn't CeeLo. Person I know locally who does this. He said the only way you're going to find out where your audience might be if you decide to grow one for live streaming is to, the bulls out west are phenomenal. But they said just go out and hit it a couple different times of the day. Give it 2 or 3 days at each time zone or time slot and see what you get for a crowd. And I've had people like 20-25 people rotate in and out of this thing yesterday and today. I'll try one. I was even thinking about doing my lunchtime walk in the parking garage to just kind of see if it has an audience. Like, I'm not here overly concerned about the audience, so you don't hear me, you don't hear me begging for subs and likes and stuff like that. I'm putting it into videos and just to see how far I can push it a little bit. But I know I haven't gotten the financial mind for this. Like, I'm not looking to make this a career, so to speak. And that's, I think, refreshing. I mean, I go to a lot of streams where it's all about how much money I can make, and I think if you have a captive audience like the Disney folks have, you can get there. I mean, I think what I plan on doing with it this summer after the wedding, I'm going to try something. I don't know too many people doing it or seen very many people doing it, but I may do some thought out live streams. Go to a place like Saratoga. I'm actually going to try it in Saratoga, I think, this weekend if the weather allows and time. I got things going on, but do a live stream, do it in places where, long enough where I go to places where I can pluck pieces out of the live stream and create a vlog. We'll see how that goes, but I don't know how many people have done it. It may be everybody who's ever done YouTube doing it. It just doesn't seem like they are. Just to see if it's a viable thing to do, because when you're walking with the Osmo, I don't know how this one's going to do. The videos I had the last couple of days had a lot of shaking them. The one up at Saratoga National Cemetery on Memorial Day, the gimbal I had, the head froze. Like, it locked, and I couldn't get unfrozen. So I got back to the house, and I basically had to turn it off, plug it back in, recharge it. Then it started looking like it was going to work again, and brought it out here yesterday morning, did a trial run with it on my warm-up walk, which is typically longer than today, but today I was lazy getting out of bed. I didn't get out of the bed till 4:30, so I snoozed myself about half an hour. But the dang thing was just shaking, like, so hopefully this Osmo here, which I think is the type that I would think most of the YouTube streaming world is using. I got this on Amazon too. I spent an extra, this is going to sound stupid, but I only spent an extra $60 to get it. So I went cheap, and I got cheap. So, is it steady? Thanks, John. When you're walking and pounding with the 20-pound sack on, your eyes are, wiggling around, so it's just so hard to tell. And so, like I said, I like it. I mean, it's, I know I was talking to Chad. He has some bad shoulder issues, and he just couldn't do it anymore. Chad's Outdoor Adventure. I know you know Chad Jackson is, but and he had a captive audience there with Disney, so and he was doing it at a time of day that made sense. So, but he still couldn't pull it off because he's got a shoulder injury that needs to be handled, and I can see where this could be something that would put a little strain on a bad shoulder. I've got bad shoulders, but just carrying this in the backpack, I don't know whether it's the gimbal or it's the backpack that's making my shoulder hurt. So yeah. So anyhow, I think the cross country trail runs around this way. But I saw like a little kick out trail there yesterday, which I don't know why I'm going down. It's because I plucked some ticks off my clothes yesterday, but I'll do it again anyhow. Usually in the summer when I'm hiking, I've got the DEET on. Well, it's not DEET anymore, but I use Zone tick and mosquito repellent and Prometheum on my clothes and my boots. The ticks are nasty, and now they got a new beautiful disease you can get from it that makes you allergic to red meat. So I don't want that, and but I don't think any of it's going to keep me from getting out in the woods. I'm hoping the one place to go to a lot has some cell signal. That's the problem with the live streaming, right? I mean, you've got to be someplace where you've got a signal. Otherwise, your live stream is going to be in and out. And but like I said, the reason I'm doing this here is I made that agreement with myself to do 110 days worth of posting. What I said is going to be one vlog a week and one or two shorts. I've been trying to keep the shorts alive because you can actually do that with AI. And like yesterday, I just took some quick clips while I was walking. Kind of regurgitation of material, but I always have to remind myself, initially I started this channel as something I was using as an accountability tool. And then after we get to the wedding and through the wedding, then I'm going to start focusing on, the content that I think other people may be pretty interested in. And, in August, there's a good chance I'll spend a little bit of time focusing on, it doesn't look like I can go that way. There's a little different trail than yesterday. So I'll go back this way and do what I did yesterday. And so I'll start focusing a little bit on, making that channel a little bit more. But I think when I'm at Disney, I may do, I don't know if I'll do it daily. There's some stuff down there I need to get taken care of with some friends that I've had since I was a kid. So I'll be spending time with them too. But I'll definitely do some Disney stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of people doing it, so saturated market. That's kind of the old Route 66 thing. My wife said, just go. I was going to do it last year, and I got tied up doing a bunch of other stuff. I do contracting occasionally in the summer still, and I got a job. And I decided, it's a friend of mine, I decided I'd do it, and I don't charge a whole heck of a lot to friends. And so it wasn't a financial windfall. And anyhow, this year I'm going to do it, but I'm pricing everything out like I did last year. Everybody's on Route 66. It's chaos. It's like, I'm not trying to compete with the career YouTubers. I just want to go out there and make some videos for myself, for prosperity speak, for my kids, for grandkids, just have fun with it. And, but the cost of going into hotels is quite a bit more expensive than motels. And, not to mention gas is a little bit north of where it used to be. So not that that's a big deal, but when you add it all up, I could probably do something a little more local. So Sean Urban and I were going to try to tag team and do something together. And we're talking about, it's America's 250th, the possibility of just doing a New England tour. He's got to work, but I don't. And I may take New Hampshire to Savannah, Georgia, to the original 13 colonies and do something like that. I'm a history guy, so kind of that would be in my wheelhouse. Got a buddy who's an old history teacher. I might be able to convince him to go on that little trek as well. And then the other one is I got a really nice road here in New York State. And I know you know it, John, but Route 20 is a heck of a road, and it goes clear across country. And in my head, I've been on parts and pieces of it, and there's some Americana out there too. So I just got to do a little research on that. There's some old resorts that don't exist anymore. One at Richmond Springs, Sulphur Springs they had there, and sulfur water. The old resorts in bad shape, but I've been through there. So there's some stuff. I guess it's got to really map it out. I got a little bit of time, but not a ton of time, because I got 29 days to the wedding, 30 days, so I got to make a decision what I'm doing with it. So, yeah, it does. New York has a ton of history. Hudson Valley, from just running the Hudson River north to south. Revolutionary, obviously, history. The French-Canadian War. Saratoga Battlefield, right down the road from where my parents are buried. There's a ton here. There's no doubt about it. There's content. It's just laying it out in a way that makes sense. That I think has some chronological order to it. I don't think it really matters. I've seen a lot of people just bounce from one thing to the next. So I don't know that matters really that much, but in my head it does. And I think that's kind of where I've got to keep it. Like, how do I make it make sense? We'll figure it out. I'm a smart man. It's just putting everything on paper. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, use ChatGPT to lay it out for you." I'm like, yeah, it might. That doesn't mean I did it. And if it's not my idea or in my head, it's some ChatGPT thing, it's just not going to go. So. I don't know. I use AI for those shorts. Some of them, I go some deer. I don't know if I can get him or not. I thought I heard something rumbling around out there. I don't know if I can see him through the woods or not, but I thought I heard something rumbling around out there. Now at least I know I had ticks on me yesterday. Anyhow, well, John, Sean Urban, Cole, invention of the Adirondack chair. Yeah, you know something? Here's a Cole. I got to do a little research on that. I don't know if it was actually invented in the Adirondacks. There's a museum up in the Adirondacks called Blue Mountain Lake. It's a beautiful area, a beautiful spot. And we were up there once, and there was a guy who said that chair is not an Adirondack chair. Wasn't really invented in the Adirondacks, and he's at the museum, so I don't know if the curator's right or wrong, but he said he thought it was done in Maine, and I'm like, my whole life, yeah, Cole, I agree. I mean, my whole life I knew it as the Adirondack chair from the Adirondacks. So, yeah, I'm gonna kind of leave it there myself. Like, it's got to be the Adirondack chair. Why would you call it anything else? You know, and that's kind of where I'm leaving it. But yeah, this guy was pretty intense about it. It was made, invented in Maine, and the Adirondacks stole it away. I'm like, I don't know about that. So I may do a little research on that, Cole, because you know why? It's like Tony Packo's. You gave me an idea that ran like wildfire, so now I got another idea. So I'm gonna put that one in the quiver. And once I was told that, I was in my teens, early 20s. I never researched it. It's a chair. It didn't make. And I'm a woodworking guy and built furniture. You think I would have made some effort to look it up, but I'm going to take your word for it because, hey, you've been right more than that guy. So, yeah, I think he was too. I mean, even my father was with me when that conversation was happening. We both walked out there thinking, is this guy, he's drinking something we're not, so, but yeah, it's definitely worth researching it. Sean, you got some work this morning, eh? Me too. I'm wrapping this one up right here in a minute, and I left my watch home, but I can tell by the color of the sky that I need to start boogieing. And I got to be on the road about 20 minutes earlier today to get to work. We had a fellow at work get sick yesterday. And he's coming back in today, just going to try to go see how he's doing. The only time I'll have an opportunity to catch up with him is first thing in the morning. Well, anyhow, gentlemen, I'm going to call it here. I appreciate you popping in. I'm glad I turned around the chat finally. Unbelievable. Sean, that's why I started this whole thing this morning. I didn't have the chat turned around, or on, because I turned it off last night to do the broadcast setup. But New York time right now, I have no idea. I'm going to say it's probably 5:45-ish. So going on 6 o'clock. I guess that's going to be my guess. All right, guys. I am going to, I know this is where people die. Sean, I'm always in the woods. You know that. The last thing I'm concerned about in the woods is people. So especially the way I prepare myself to be in the woods. Anyhow, I will talk to you all tomorrow. This keeps going for the next 28 days after today. Appreciate you being here, gentlemen. I know it's early, and it's fun to have people to shoot the breeze with in the morning. All right, we'll talk to you later, boys. Bye.